chapter 3 is jumping up to the big picture, and is talking about the stages of formation, of group formation. And there's 4 main stages that are in the literature, and some of you may be familiar with this: formation, transition, performing, and dissolution. Okay? Formation is when you first come together. Okay? Usually kids are on their, and learners are on their good behavior those first few days, okay, because they're unsure. The transition stage is the stage when people have doubts. Okay? Do I really want to be here? Do I really want to be doing what these other people are doing? Do I feel good here? Okay? And these are probably kind of natural doubts. Okay? When those questions are kind of answered and people settle in, there's the performing stage. Okay? And at this stage, people have decided, this is where I want to be. I can focus on the information. I can concentrate on what the speaker is saying. And I want to know the information. Okay? And I want to learn from my classmates. And I can learn from my classmates. Okay? Hopefully in the performing stages, all of that has settled in. Okay? The dissolution stage is the goodbye. And many teachers ignore this. And they ignore it to their peril. At the dissolution stage, when we're saying goodbye, I actually start saying goodbye at least 3 or 4 weeks before the last class. Okay? Letting people know that you only have 3 or 4 weeks left, and we want to review this material, and we want to remember what we've done, and we want to project into the future. What are you going to do after this class? How will you carry on with your learning? What are your goals for next year? What have you learned this year? And it's a great opportunity for teacher learning too, okay, to get feedback from your students. So chapter 3 is a quick overview of the stages in group formation. And we wanted to give that before we jumped into chapter 4, which is about cohesive groups, which is the goal of all teachers. And how can we get to the point where our groups come together and are cohesive, okay? They're really supportive of each other. And there's 2 strands of cohesiveness. One is socialization. That's what we were talking about earlier, getting to know each other. And the other one is goal-oriented behavior. Goal-oriented behavior. For a well-working group, you want them to socialize, but not just to socialize. You want them to accomplish whatever the goals are of your class. And so, how can I get them on task? And one of the main ways that we talk about it is combining socialization with goal-oriented behavior. So how can you socialize? Because people are very motivated to socialize. How can you do that in the target language already? Get people to know each other and make the students the subject of the class. The students, their past, their present, their future, their thoughts, their opinions. Why look at Johnny in England or Billy in New York when you've got real live people there with a past, present, and future that are dying to talk about it? Okay? So letting students be the center. There's a few dangers in cohesiveness. Sometimes some groups, and you may have recognized some of these in your classes, they socialize to such an extent that that is the main goal to come to class, to see my friends, right? And to socialize with them. I don't care about the subject. And when they have become a very tight group, it can be a problem, okay? If I can make them a tight group with the goal-oriented behavior at the same time, it's heaven, okay? So it's a problem. The other thing about being too cohesive is what they call groupthink. Sometimes people don't question things enough, and they think, oh, we're a wonderful group, and if somebody doesn't agree with us, then they're out. Okay, and they become very exclusive. And it's nice to add variety in. I do that through several different ways. I invite people in to observe and to interact with my students. I also combine classes sometimes with other classes for them to mix, okay, which is very nice. When people are voicing opinions, I usually don't give mine first. I get students to give their opinions, if possible, first. And I say, I don't know. Because sometimes they want to follow me, okay? okay? And I don't want that. And when I see a really radical idea that's coming out, I don't pounce on it. I say, yes, great, tell me more about it, okay? And confirm it, okay? To get away from groupthink. There's also a problem in cohesive groups with time or competition. Those of you who are from Japan know very well in Japanese universities, some of the most cohesive groups in Japanese universities are the clubs and the social groups, okay? And if they don't find any friendship and any cohesiveness in their classes, they only find it in their clubs, and that's where they spend most of their time and energy outside of class. But if they can make those friends inside of a class, they invest part of their identity as English language learners or studying literature or whatever else, then it's much more productive, okay? So it's another good reason to promote cohesiveness in your classes. A lot of the cohesiveness already has begun in chapter 1 and 2 when you're getting to know them. All of the icebreakers, the getting to know each other activities and things like that.